morning, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Read Along with Pranks. Today we have with us one of the best-selling authors of India, Ms.SutapaBasu. She has won many awards for her books like Padmavati, The Cursed Inheritance, The Curse of Nadir Shah, and The Legend of Changiz Khan. The recent among them was for her book, The Curse of Nadir Shah. She won the Arthur Award, instituted by J.K. Papers and Times of India. I'm shivering with excitement to invite on my show Ms. SutapaBasu, my idol. I have been always a great fan of all her books. And today, I'm so happy to have her with me and talk about her journey for her recent book, The Cursed Inheritance. Welcome you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Priyanka. It's a pleasure being on your show. And I'm looking forward to this conversation about, The Cursed Inheritance, which is actually a book for the young adults.
Thank you so much, ma'am. In your book, you take the readers back into different eras and speak about unsung heroes in all your books. And even in this book, The Cursed Inheritance, you have taken us into family history and culture. So how do you think history becomes a good content for a storyteller? Please elaborate.
So Priyanka, history is nothing but telling stories about the past. But, when we were taught history as children, we were mainly taught, through the dates, the events, the rise and fall of empires or kings. So obviously it was like, mugging up a dateline, and it was boring and very drab and dry.
Yes.
So when we tell stories describing the past, maybe through the food that was eaten in the past, the customs of the past, the language that was spoken, or the clothes that were worn, we are able to visually bring the past into the present. And obviously it seems as though it's happening all around us. At the same time, when we describe, certain important historical events and how they influence the lives of ordinary people, we are also able to bring to the reader the significance of those events, as well as learn lessons from them so that these disasters don't happen again.
100%. And I think you have all your books, if a person reads it, will surely fall in love with history all over again. And I think,
and even these characters, the historical characters, if you give a detailed characterization of these historical figures, they come alive. They are human. They are not, a name and a picture in a history book. And when you describe their life histories, then the readers get to know that they were not superhuman. They
100%.
were just ordinary people who simply had more courage and more determination to carve their destinies, and who had to fight a lot of dire circumstances to do that. So I believe, Priyanka, that both history and heritage, they have a lot of content for storytellers. And not only that, they hold a lot of potential for the creativity of the storyteller so that, they can hook the readers.
And also that one of the best highlights of all your book is that you have never put them into a black or white picture. You've always shown the gray character and allowed the reader to judge according to their eyes what they want to see. Like Changiz Khan, people always thought him as a bad man. But in your book, you really understand what made him what he was. So I really applaud you for that.
Thank you.
The book Cursed Inheritance seems so real. It seemed that as if it has happened truly. So was it inspired by a real life story? And can you tell us your relationship with these characters in the story? It really seemed like as if it has happened.
Well, actually, Priyanka, the main protagonist of the story is the Heritage Mansion. And ever since I have, seen those grand, magnificent mansions and havelis, which dot the lanes of North Kolkata, I have always wondered what tales they must be holding, and I wish they could tell us those stories, if they could. So that was my main inspiration. This mansion has been growing in my imagination for a very long time. So it was very obvious that when I got this story, I would want to weave it around this mansion. Also, I keep reading a lot of stories by Satyajit Ray, and by other Bengali writers about these mansions and the interesting family histories that these mansions hold. And one of them, if you remember, there was this movie, a very old movie called Saib Bibi Aur Gulam. So that movie has actually been was based on a 1953 novel called Saheb Bibi Ghulam by Bimal Mitra.
Okay.
And he has taken a look at the fall of Havelidom and feudalism in Bengal during the British Raj. So that has greatly inspired me, that story, and the book. And I always thought I would like to create a story which would be around a Haveli or a mansion, just like it is there in the Cursed Inheritance.
Same with Padmavati. All of them have this royal figure. So I think you truly get inspired by the royalty in our country. And
Absolutely.
Also, yeah, but it happens to me also when I see palaces, and I just want to know what was truly there other than what the people tell us. So it is really exciting to keep reading your books and just unravel all the realities through fiction, maybe. Padmavati, Changiz Khan, Curse of Nadir Shah, and The Cursed Inheritance all have one common factor in your book. That is the sudden twist and the sudden rise and fall of the characters. How do you manage to grip your creators with these sudden twists and suspense, even when it is like when you feel now I know the story and suddenly you feel, oh, I don't know. So how do you manage that?
So Priyanka, other than the historical novels, my other favorite genre are thrillers and mysteries. So I can, even as a reader, I always felt that when there is a thrill, something suspenseful about to happen, and as a reader, I always wanted to know what was this unknown factor which would probably change the character's life or change the plot. And that is what made me, turn the pages. So I believe suspense and thrill are something that really forms a page turner as far as the story is concerned. And that is why you will find that whether it is historical novels, whether it is the short stories, or these true blue thrillers, a thread of mystery and suspense, that is the leitmotif of all my books. I must have that, running through the books. So that has to be there.
And something that I see is that the impact of the paranormal, something which, is there but not there. So do you believe in the paranormal activities in real life also?
Very frankly, Priyanka, I have not found anything that does not make me believe, because there are so many stories, about the paranormal. And especially, in the Cursed Inheritance, I have brought in Tantra, or the Tantric cult.
Yes.
I have heard so many real life stories which are connected to the Tantric cult, or the skill of how they are able to sort of bring in the paranormal. So I would say that yes, I am a believer.
After reading the book, The Cursed Inheritance, I felt, left wanting for more. I just felt, no, there has to be, this is not complete ending. There has to be something more. And I wanted to walk along with Anna, the main character of this book, a little longer. So do we expect a sequel of The Cursed Inheritance or something like that?
Well, Priyanka, as a reader, I have discovered that sequels are never successful. Now, let's take The Gone with the Wind. there have been innumerable sequels to the Gone with the Wind, but nothing can ever match up to the original. So what I believe is that I would like to leave my readers trying to imagine what Anna's life ahead would have been, or what she would have done. I think they should. I would give them the freedom of creating their own stories about Anna. In fact,
and probably create a sequel for you for the Cursed Inheritance.
I'll be so happy if somebody creates a sequel for the Cursed Inheritance. Most welcome. Anybody who wants to do that.
So everybody who is listening, please go ahead, pick up this book and create a sequel, and ma'am will be happy to welcome it. I feel a perfect ending leaves the author, like we have discussed before, leaves a reader to crave for more, to more on the character that we have read, imagine their journey in the future, what could have become out of them. So how important do you think, ma'am, is it to have a perfect ending to make a story a good read?
You have just not defined why a perfect ending is necessary, because it will make the readers pick up the next book by the same author, right? But so a perfect ending is absolutely essential, in fact, for storytelling. But what I wanted to put forward here is that perfect endings also depends upon the target audience of that particular book. So let's take children's fiction. So here, when we end stories, we need to resolve all conflicts. We need to tie up solutions very well. We can't have open endings because that will confuse the young readers. Similarly, in the young adult category, also, we need to resolve conflicts. We should avoid open endings. But like you have noticed in the Cursed Inheritance, you can leave some things to the imagination of the reader. But now when we write fiction for adults, their cliffhangers, open endings are very, very attractive. So you will find that in Dangle as well as in Padmavati, I have left the book, with a cliffhanger. And I think a lot of readers came back to me and they really loved that ending. So definitely a perfect ending is absolutely necessary for good storytelling, but the definition of perfection can vary depending on the target audience.
So you say it's a very thin line for an author. He or she has to decide whom he's targeting and then decide on the ending.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's very necessary.
Now one of my question is always there when I read your book, is that what do I expect from Ms.SutapaBasu as an author? Another historical character coming alive in front of our eyes, or some other genre that you want to explore?
So it could be anything, actually. And what you've just said, I would want to explore more and more genres. Now I have already written historical novels, I have written children's fiction, I have written thrillers, and now translations as well, poetry as well, short stories. But I want to explore more. The reason is that every genre has its own principles and parameters. And when I have to apply my creativity within those restrictions, I obviously need to improvise and innovate. While doing that, I believe that I would be able to enhance my skills as a writer and hopefully become a better writer. And that is the reason I want to, do a little more experiments and a little more explorations.
So again, a cliffhanger with the readers. We are still left with wanting to know what next.
That's the suspense.
So my last question to you, ma'am, is give us 5 reasons that why, as a reader, one should go and pick up The Cursed Inheritance.
Firstly, it's a cozy mystery, which means that it brings the memories of the past in conjunction with what is happening in contemporary life. So that's why it's a cozy mystery. Also, thrill and suspense, are rife in every page. So as the story proceeds, there is a lot of thrill. There's a lot of things happening because there are elements of paranormal which have been brought in. There have been hints of both Egyptian as well as Indian mythology, intriguing family history, and treasure hunt, as well as even murder. So all these will create a lot of thrill for any reader who reads this book. The second thing is that in this book, the customs, the heritage of the city of Kolkata, through its cuisine, through its language, through its people, through whatever is happening on the streets, comes in these impressions come to the reader through the eyes of a first-time visitor. So that again, I think, will intrigue readers to find out more maybe about the city of Kolkata. Another unusual thing about this book is that it exposes a conflict which is between the pessimistic, immoral, and cynical age, and the more positive, ethical, and looking forward youth. So it shows that conflict, between age and youth. So that again, I think, would interest readers. Another thing is that the protagonist, the main protagonist, is a mansion in the story, which is unique.
Which
also,
is very
the
different.
other protagonist, it's very different. The other protagonist in the story, she's not born in India, she hasn't lived in India, but she comes to a new place and has the courage and determination to seek the truth for the sake of the truth. And that is why at the end, she is able to turn a curse into a blessing. So I think these are reasons enough for a reader to pick up the book.
So our listeners know why they should go and pick up the book Cursed Inheritance from the author herself. But soon you will know from me why should you pick up the Cursed Inheritance soon. So please keep watching our channel, Read Along with Pranks. Do like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to pick up this book, The Cursed Inheritance, the link of which is given below in the description. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us and giving your precious time. It was truly a joy, and we are looking forward for many more books from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka. It was lovely to be on your channel, on your show. And I would also thank all the viewers and the readers who are there. Yes, do pick up the book and do let me know what you like about it. And do subscribe to Read Along with Pranks so that you can hear more about this book and many other books. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
This book will leave you wanting for more. Hurry up, pick up this copy of The Cursed Inheritance and join Anahita in unlocking the secrets of Sarkari Bari. It's your time to walk along with Anahita. Thank you.